For the team, took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free, free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I'm still live through technology. The sun will start shining. What is the pain? And tears of pain. And tears of pain. And that's just justification. Your destiny will manifest. Yes,
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, y'all? I had to roll up for this one, cause, and I know there are people who are my supporters who probably ask me, Bubs, why do you continue to give commentary on someone else's commentary who clearly is not as educated about the facts and educated about the topic? Like, why would you give your energy towards that? And my response is this. I have a purpose, one of my purposes, but I have a purpose in helping to bring context and nuance to a conversation that affects my life and has affected the lives of those before me, and if we don't work shit out, is going to affect the lives after me. Okay? Now, before I just do my response videos, I actually sit down and listen to the entire thing most times. If it's 4 or 5 hours and nothing new has come out of the commentary within 3 or some hours, okay, but I do my best to sit down and listen and try to comprehend, not just listen to understand, but listen to comprehend to see what is going on. And the Ron that I've had the conversation with in private and the Ron that is public are two different Rons. Because one of the Rons is being intellectually, mentally, and emotionally dishonest, and the other isn't. So I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, maybe he's going to say something that's going to gag me. Maybe he's going to say something that's going to have me like, maybe he's going to say something that is going to help me as a same gender loving melanated person. I thought he was going to say something. I thought he was going to bring facts. I thought he was going to bring statistics. I thought he was going to bring studies, all the things that's qualified in order for you to teach anything. So you come on now, roll up. You said I was bombing in the car. You rolling up in the car, Donna. But I mean, no shade. High school and college, there were certain requirements that were needed in order for you to present something. For individuals who have taken debate classes, for individuals who have done some sort of public speaking class, they always have to cite their sources, and their job is to try to persuade the audience that their side makes more sense than the other side. And if we were in a debate setting, Ron would have lost because he's not bringing any statistical facts. And then on top of that, you're not bringing any sort of resolution or resolve that is realistic. And it is a bit cringy, but I made a promise to myself that when it comes down to educating people about queer phobia, about racism, about all these hot button topic issues that affect people's lives, like, I get it. You don't see it. It hasn't happened. You said, listen while you driving. Hey, you ain't see it. It ain't happened to you, and that's okay. It didn't happen to you. But you can't sit up here and discount other people's experiences about what has happened to them. And then when we do what we're taught in school, trying to play in the system in reference to verifying what is being said, there has to be something done known as proper analysis. There has to be a credible timeline that substantiates everything that you're saying. And I listened to this video and there was nothing new. It's to the point to where Ron is telling us that if we want some sort of reparation, that we need to stop trying to get reparations from the government and from white people, and for us to get a one-way ticket. He said one way, not no round trip, which means don't bring your nigga ass back over here, but a one-way ticket to Africa, and to go ask Africa to give black people their reparations, because they were the ones that actually sold black people into slavery. Now, were there Africans who sold other Africans into slavery? You're goddamn right. Because when you look past race and queer and all this stuff, you see that there are people in the world who, what's the word I want to look for? They're supremacist. They believe that their life is above someone else's. So, is there unfinished business in reference to your point when it comes to Africa? You goddamn right there is. We can have a conversation about going back to Africa and trying to find the motherfuckers who did this to us. But before we do that, we're going to deal with the individuals that we've been around for 400 plus years who are still benefiting, okay, from the labor of slaves. Because once again, what people don't understand, and I don't know why, because again, when you live in the information age, ignorance is a choice. I'm realizing that now. In the information age, ignorance is a choice. And a lot of people are ignorant. Black, white, gay, straight, Christian, non-Christian. There's a lot of ignorance going on across the motherfucking board. But what happened is that once again, slaves were seen as property. They were property. They were not human beings. They were not written to exist in America under what is known as the Constitution. We were literally labeled as third of a person. Like, there is all this factual information out here. And when we do further research, and black people who once again end up being the change that they want to see, black people who say, you know what, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to motherfucking do what needs to be done in order for me to grow. There has been so many instances within American history that oppressed groups of people, primarily black people, have stood the fuck up in the face of their oppressors and chose not to be victims and got destroyed for it. We've seen this. Have we talked about the Homestead Act that still has the majority of white America living good and comfortable? How they're still receiving money generationally that was supposed to be owed to black people who did their part and did what was required of them in order, because they fought for their freedom. They fought for their freedom. And when they finally got their quote unquote freedom, look at what happened when black people were free. Because once again, the products, okay, the property was the main reason they were making money. They weren't out in the fields doing shit black people were. They weren't out there building shit black people were. White people were able to sit the fuck back in their goddamn southern style mansions, girl, drinking on motherfucking sugarless ass Kool-Aid, girl, watching a sea of black melanated skin, girl, do all the work. So once these people were free, the money was gone. Again, you being a Republican and you believe in capitalism, I'm not surprised because capitalism needs its slaves working. And it's right about one thing. Black people just aren't slaves. We aren't the only slaves. You're goddamn right. Queer people are slaves now. Women are women been slaves. And when we say slave, we mean an individual who is under the power and the will of someone else who has more resources than you, that has more power than you, outside of yourself, and then surrounds you and puts you in environments that does not make you want to look at yourself as better, that does not make you want to try to go farther and strive farther. Now, there are those in those situations like myself who are not a product of their environment. I still live in the hood and I am not a product of my environment. But just because I'm not a product of my environment does not mean everyone around me is not a product of theirs. And we've seen objectively what that looks like. So we're going to get into some of Ron's thinking points. And again, I'm not attacking Ron as a person because I don't know Ron as a person. Even though the way that I give off my information, because I also understand that I have to be able to receive whatever I give. And I'm a top, so I'm very intentional and very careful when I'm doing my top shit, unless they're asking me to motherfucking take them to Pound Town. But until then, I'll go very nice and slow and make you feel all of it so that you know you appreciate it. So my thing, so my thing is this. We're going to sit here and we're going to listen to Ron, his viewpoints, his talking points, his perspective. We're going to criticize that. Okay? And baby, I was blessed to have some real good fire ass shake. Shout out to my bro who paid it forward for it. So I'm ready and I'm prepared to have the conversation. Okay? And I'll have a what's up, Spicy? I'll have the conversation with my own 4 or 5 people. That's fine, girl. I don't know what these 4 or 5 people know. They might have I don't know. I'm just doing my part. And I realize that when it comes down to actually giving information and backing it up, we live in a microwavable age where everybody don't want to do that, girl, because their attention span is so motherfucking short, and we wonder why we keep doing the same thing over and over again. Girl, this is the information age, and if we don't get it right during the information age, girl, I'm a little bit afraid about what the fuck humanity is going to have to go through collectively in order for us to see that we're just that human. But until then, I will continue to do my part to take fear-based, ignorant, unsubstantiated commentary from both individuals inside the LGBT community and outside the community. Those in blackness and outside of blackness, girl. I'm doing my part in reference to rebuilding and strengthening humanity. And if we read our Bibles, girl, Christ Jesus was doing just that. But before we get into today's live, girl, let me do the smart thing. Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made, okay, for fair use for purposes such as criticism, definitely gonna give that. Commentary, you goddamn Skippy. News reporting, we might throw a little facts in there, even though I've done multiple and numerous lives, but I mean, hell, what's another time gonna hurt? Scholarship, I mean, yeah, duh. And research, girl. We paid attention to school. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let me go grab my other phone because I had some notes that I was going to share from the last live that Ron and I did. Give me 1 second, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this live. 1 second. All right, I'm back, y'all. Make sure I got my. Did I delete the notes? Oh, damn, I deleted the notes. Because I had notes from our live afterwards. I was like, girl, oh, wait a minute, bitch. You said recently deleted? Hold on, recently deleted? Yes, girl, look at the universe. Karabo Shande, Ishkatai. Let me shut up. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, Ron Vuggotta in his commentary stating that, yeah, black people do not deserve reparations, girl. And he's going to tell us why. Let's get in.
I want to talk about how you deserve reparations, black people. Then why not get it from Africa? The people that sold you out. Now, I already know I'm going to have to preface this very loving, very nice, because a lot of black people, a lot of BLM, and not even all black people, because I've learned since debuting conservative that there are also a lot of white people that want to cuddle and keep black people thinking that they're a victim. Like, I can't even tell you how many white people come at me
Is the audio
sideways
good,
because they're
y'all?
like, oh, you're so dumb. You're just a Republican puppet. You're a Republican mouthpiece. You're dumb. Well, you want to.
I ain't gonna say you dumb, because I'm not gonna take it to that extremes, girl. Ignorant as fuck. Yeah, you're very ignorant. I'll say that. And when I mean ignorant, I don't mean ignorant in the sense of the derogatory form of you're dumb or you're stupid to like try to assassinate your character. It's just that when you get on camera and you speak about these issues, you prove to us that you are in no way, shape, or form even qualified to speak on these issues. And the fact that white people is telling you this, girl, I mean, there are white people who understand their privilege and have a good conscience about it and don't want to sit up here and continue to manifest the same shit that their forefathers have manifested because they understand what's going on. Hell, even in slavery, are you saying the slaves were victims too? Because white people also have to put their lives on the line in reference to the Underground Railroad. They had to use their influence, they had to use their power, they had to use their resources in order to make sure that these slaves get from the south to the north. So with your viewpoint, are you also saying that slaves during slavery chose to be victims too? Because white people put their lives on the line as well. They didn't coddle black people. They understood their plight. They used their privilege to actually see through their stuff. I mean, but again, this is Ron's viewpoint and his perspective. Okay? So we have to always take that in mind, girl. Like, whenever some of us feel triggered by some of the buzzwords that he's saying, whenever he just says his bullshit, girl, we have to remind ourselves that, girl, this is coming from Ron. This is coming from Ron, a person who's not educated himself when it comes down to blackness and when it comes down to queerness. And he's only using his experiences and his experiences only to view this experience. So we have to also keep that in mind, girl. That's why context and nuance through my commentary is needed so that he can have a broader perspective of these things, regardless of whether he wants to acknowledge it or not. Cause no shade, bruh, you need some milk.
know what's dumber to me than me being a Republican white piece? It's a white liberal trying to tell me how oppressed I am. I always
Mm.
tell people the most racist people in America, if you really want to be honest, are white liberals. But
Wow.
we're gonna talk about that on another video.
I
This
can't
video is
wait for
about
that
black
one.
people and their bullshit reparations dreams. Black
Mm-hmm.
people have this illusion that slavery was only just in America. Black people have this illusion, courtesy to a very mythical movie book called Roots, that
Mm.
slavery was some big thing to harm the black people, and black people are out here on the internet talking about how, oh, we have this mythical magic in this thing called melanin. We have this mythical magic that white people want to just erase and eradicate, and they don't want to see us alive. So since the beginning of time,
Mm-hmm.
white people have been on a vengeance to erase our African blood, our African bloodline, our African
Mm-hmm.
ancestry, our roots, whatever,
Right.
all that voodoo mess.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to the
anywho,
hoodoo voodoo.
let's talk about the truth. First of all, black people, I need you to one understand that centuries of people such as the Middle Easterners for
Mm-hmm.
6 decades, that's
Mm-hmm.
600 years. No, that's
Mm-hmm.
not 6 decades, 6 centuries, that's
Mm-hmm.
600 years,
Yep.
that people like the Middle Easterners were slaves before the first African ever even touched the Western Hemisphere. Let's please understand that. So that debunks one.
That doesn't debunk. Here's the thing. Black people, or I'm gonna speak for me. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm not sure black people understand. Hold on. Ooh, the Lord must have wanted me very, very high on this live, because baby, when I smoke and I get a burning in my chest, that's when I know the blunt finna slap, girl. So the universe is using me, and I don't even smoke blunts, bitch. I really smoke raw cones and joints, girl. I would smoke all my weed. But anyway, hey Aries, listen. I'm not discounting what has happened to other people. I can acknowledge what has happened to other groups of people that has been destructive and catastrophic. I can sympathize with Jewish people and what they've been through in reference to the Holocaust. I'm not a Holocaust denier. I believe these people. There's facts and evidence and all type of monuments that have been put up that actual Jewish people have been through. I acknowledge that. The Middle Eastern people you're talking about, I acknowledge that as well. Black people are not saying that we're the only groups of people that have been enslaved, because objectively and factually that would be wrong. That would be wrong. But what we're talking about is what has happened to African American slaves, which in this American context, how catastrophic it's been, since you're talking about centuries, 4 centuries. That's why they don't want us to learn our history, the complete part of our history. So I guess the goal that Ron is trying to do here, and I hope for those who are listening, you let me know in the comments, like, let me know how you personally feel. Like, this is a safe space for everybody to speak their shit. But after this whole thing, I want you to let me know and tell me, did Ron convince you that black people should absolve their issue of reparations with black people because of all these other people? I want you to give me your answer at the end. Or now if you feel it, girl, because I already watched it, girl. And the fact that my ass is here to give commentary, you should already know your answer. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I even give Ron the benefit of the doubt. Because it's like, girl, I'm waiting for one video where he just dropped fact and fact and fact, to where it's like, now, girl, you are, okay, now, girl, okay. Okay, now, okay, now, because at the end of the day, I know and understand what Ron is trying to get to. Because again, this Ron that y'all got in front of y'all, I didn't get that type of Ron. I thought I was, girl, and I was prepared for it. Because a leprechaun ain't never scared, girl. I just rather practice peace before anything else. Because, girl, I was taught by a badass bitch who said, girl, put your all in everything that you do. So I put my all in being nice, girl. And if that ain't gonna be the motherfucking thing, and we gotta be a little bit spicy, girl, we can be spicy. I'm waiting for the Ron that is being, again, mentally, emotionally, and intellectually and factually honest, and we haven't gotten that yet. But once again, that's why I'm here, to offer context and nuance to this. And if anything, I'm helping to humanize the person who doesn't even see or qualify me as a queer person to be human. Especially since I'm, according to him, a liberal. So it's funny, the one who is supposed to be attacking, the one that is supposed to be trying to hurt you, the one that's supposed to be sitting here falsely flagging your shit, I'm the liberal. I'm the demon infested one. I am the sin infested one, right? Then how is it that individual who is all those things according to what you've been taught to believe and what you've experienced with some of the gays in your life who have done horrible shit to you, which once again, they need to be held accountable for? I don't give a fuck. Accountability is for everybody. Ain't nobody exempt. I understand that. Okay, girl, let me shut up because y'all know how BubzDaGawd can get down, girl. Let's continue. Let's continue.
That slavery was this thing based on skin color. If anything, slavery was based on the fact that there were rich people, rich, powerful people taking advantage of vulnerable, poor people. And it didn't matter what your skin color was because.
Okay, but in the realm of American history, in America, we're dealing with America here. Shout out to everybody else in the country. And once again, their stuff is valid and we honor that. But we also have to keep in mind what we're talking about here. When it came down to African Americans in America, the defining factor was the skin color, skin color. You literally have museums now where they have shit from back in the day where it said whites only, colored only. Hello, that was a defining feature. Are we going to sit up here and ignore and just make it seem like black people are the only ones who decided to add race to this thing when we weren't the ones who created the concept of race in America and has allowed racism to manifest to the level that it is today? Girl, what? Okay, girl, I hope you get to persuade me and the audience, girl, because one thing about my people and the small viewers that I have, the majority of us are open-minded. So you have open-minded people willing to listen to what you're saying in your plight, but you got to actually make the plight make sense, and not just sense through your lens, but find a way to objectively do that. That's why I said if we were in a debate setting or a public speaking setting, girl, and was doing this scholastically with all type of regiments and requirements put in place to help you to construct an argument that is substantial, an argument that is not shallow as hell, girl, you would lose, girl. And that's not nobody trying to be, like they the shit or whatever, girl, because I'm not the shit. I'm some of it though, but I'm not the shit. But girl, there are some people who literally just put in more work. You talking about putting in the work. And he's going to say later on in the commentary, oh, black people need to stop being lazy and actually put in the motherfucking work, put in the work. Black people have put in the work, girl. But it gets to a point to where it's like, girl, at this point, all the work that my ancestors and me and I'm putting in, girl, yeah, run me my coin. Run me what I'm worth, plus interest. Because when the government want their money, girl, ain't no questions asked about it, girl. Ain't no, oh, when's the best time I can call you? Ain't gonna be no, oh, when are you gonna put the money in your account, girl? When the government gets to a point where they want their money, girl, they will snatch your shit. They will garnish your shit without a motherfucking hassle or a goddamn problem. So if the system want their money like that, and then it should be the same to us. Because, I mean, let's be realistic. In America, every other ethnic group has gotten some sort of financial compensation for the shit they went through. Jewish people receive some form of reparation or form of reconciliation that benefited their community. Even with Native Americans, they were at least given lands that the government couldn't go on, and now they're rescinding those laws to where now they're actually going on those lands. And you, Ron, being half Filipino, look what happened with the whole Stop Asian Hate thing. Look at the reconciliation that was given to a lot of Asian people. Interesting. So for black people, for generations, they're wondering, hey, everybody else got their quote unquote comeuppance that was owed to them. Where is ours? Especially, once again, with the Homestead Act, which I will get into a little bit down the line with this commentary on how there was supposed to be land that was supposed to be given to free African Americans, and how that whole idea was flipped on his motherfucking head, and they created all type of loans, they created all type of financial compensation to white America to have them buy in, and they created this thing that you love talking against called redlining, which you still haven't factually provided any information to substantiate what you're doing and what you're saying to believe to be true. Girl, what? Okay, let me smoke my blunt, girl. Let me smoke my good home blunt. Bitch, joint.
For a fact, the first slaves in America were not black. The first slaves in America were Irish white people. The same way black people had signs that said that no color is allowed and all of this were the same signs that Irish people had to first endure before Africans were even slaves in America. Now, let's get to Africans being slaves.
Yes.
This is gonna really.
And for the Irish people, girl, get your shit too, girl. At this point, everybody get their shit. Everybody get their shit, girl. That's the point. All black people are saying is, bitch, give us our shit too. That's all. That's all black people saying. Girl, give us our shit too. And I don't know why they won't, because I'm going to be factual, girl. And this might sound a little Ron Vuggotta-ish, girl, but at least I can agree with him on this. Unfortunately, a lot of our black brothers and sisters, when they get their reparations money, is going to turn right around, ratchet around, and give it right back to those people. It's going to be a bunch of Michael Jordan wearing, motherfucking Suburban driving on Dubs, motherfucking just pound of weed ass motherfuckers, girl, all around, girl. Versace, Gucci, Louis, Fendi finna get all that shit back, or a big part of that shit back. The system ain't worried about those niggas, because those niggas feed into the system. Those niggas need the system because the system gives them validation. They're afraid of the black people like myself and others who will use their resources in ways to empower blackness. Because when it comes down to capitalism, and if we look up capitalism, we will find out and define it as small private organizations owning the majority of shit that we have to work for, so they own us. Hold on my mic, y'all. It's humming. 1 second. There we go. So with capitalism, girl, hell yeah. When your workers decide to stand the fuck up, when your workers decide that they are more and they deserve more to what they're doing, when you have workers who are working not just one job, but 2 jobs and 3 jobs, and it's still not enough, girl, like, you're going to have people who are going to stand up. What do you then say to the black workers who worked at Amazon, girl, who've been trying to get a whole union thing happening because they're working all these hours and they're not being compensated for it? And then when these individuals go the legal route and they actually try to get signatures and votes to be able to have some sort of union shit on the board so that people can vote, so that they can have a union and be treated right, there are all type of plans and all type of shit behind the goddamn scenes that are being done to stop it. Like, girl, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, girl. Even though my benefit of the doubt maybe does not concern you, girl, but publicly speaking on my platform, girl, at least I'm one of the people that's trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Because there are gay people, there are black people, there are white people, there are straight people, girl, who have already written your ass off. And here I am trying to understand or trying to help narrate what the fuck you got going on, because once again, we both had to have an understanding of what the problem is. Because what Ron really want, at least the conscious Ron that I'm believing, because I feel like this Ron is grifting Ron who wants to make money, girl, and I'm not and I'm not gonna ignore it like I did before, but girl, there was points in time where you did a lot of crazy ass shit to get views, girl, and attention. So a part of me wants to believe that this is what you're doing now, but another part of me wants to believe that this is you being genuine and honest and true about what you feel. If you're genuinely trying to help black people and queer people of motherfucking color, the way that you're doing it is all fucking wrong. And it takes emotional intelligence to be able to work through all of that. Just like how I had you on my platform and I sat there and I had people messaging me talking about in the live, talking about, girl, I would have been up there for 5 minutes and would have cussed him out, girl. And I sat up there and allowed you to say all the things that you wanted to say, girl. Didn't censor what you were saying, allowed Ron to speak freely, girl. So I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like you keep proving me wrong, and I just want you to prove me right. That's all I'm saying. Like, prove me right, nigga. Like, crack my leprechaun ass face and be like, well, Bubs, your shit is on the floor, girl. Now, thank God you ain't that fucking tall. You close to the ground, girl. Sweep it up. Okay, girl. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments on how y'all feel about this. Girl.
Really seem like common sense to me. I don't know why it's not common sense to everyone else, but if Africa is throwing people out there on the coastline for people to just buy for profit, then how is this exactly a race issue? Chinese people were slaves. Muslim people were slaves. Irish people were slaves. Jewish people were slaves.
Right.
Just about everyone on this earth were slaves.
Right.
If we were to pay reparations to everyone who was ever once treated as slave, then what? There's 8 billion people on this world right now. A minimum of at least 4 billion people will need reparations.
But when you do your research, some of those groups of people that you talked about got some form of reparation or reconciliation. And I mean, we can try to make this shit as simple as possible or make it simpler. If y'all don't want to give us the money, then okay, black people should have like an 80-90% discount on everything. It's so funny that when the oppressing was going on, girl, there really wasn't no strict terms and well, actually there were, girl, but it's so funny that the people who did this shit, girl, don't want to own up to the shit that they did. That's the gag for me. Like, y'all literally a lot of people literally want to tell black people that there should be a limit on what they get back from what the fuck they had to endure against their will. What? And again, we're not denouncing the other groups of people who have been slaved or enslaved. But there needs to be some sort of reconciliation that is done to rectify what has happened. And the fact that we're talking about these individuals, we're literally sitting here talking about the victims, the individuals who were slaves, girl, like it was their motherfucking problem. But at the same time, we are completely just disregarding the individuals who did the enslaving, the individuals who benefited from the enslavement, the white Americans who, yes, They're not overt with their racism when they call the people the N-word or they lynching people, but they are still living good in the motherfucking neighborhood, benefiting off of what their forefathers did through enslavement. Because again, girl, let me see if I can pull up one of my damn notes. Let me see, girl, hold on. Let me get a sip of water, girl, because this, Jesus. Is the audio still good? Can you hear me over the music, or is the music overpowering me? Ooh, girl, it's weed. Okay. Girl, after the whole... Okay, let me read this, girl. And I had to remind myself, girl, I am going to sound like a broken record, girl, because... It's like, girl, it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. The info's there. It's... What people are afraid of is the accountability. The accountability is not there. And I get it. Yes, let's be real. Do black people need to be held accountable for some shit? You goddamn right. Are we exempt from accountability? Hell to the motherfucking no. We are not exempt from accountability. We got we got shit to work on. But we're not the only people that's to be accountable. And the gag is, if we look through history, there have been moments where black people literally were rectifying their own situations and issues. But see, once black people learn to be accountable for the most part, girl, now we have what is considered, or I would consider it, a more righteous critique of those outside of us because we have now critiqued ourselves. See, once you work out your own soul salvation, bitch, once you've done the main motherfucking thing in your job, which is, again, to work out your own soul salvation, once you remove the tree trunk out of your eye, then you have the authority and the right to be able to talk about the speck of dust in your brother's eye. So either way, there has to be accountability, and the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is bringing that accountability across the board. Through racism, through queerphobia, all type of shit. It's hitting hetero and homo. It's hitting black and white. It's hitting everybody. Hello, this is a universal thing that is happening. And now that people are seeing this universal thing, they're afraid of being accountable because they're afraid that their accountability is going to come with some sort of hellish response. And no tea, no shade, just facts. Some motherfucking people deserve that. But there are individuals like myself who have learned to heal very big parts of themselves. I'm not perfect, and I will be healing forever, but I've made strides in it. Who will be able to look at, once again, context and nuance because they challenge themselves to be able to say, you know what, you're right. You're right. You're right. There has to be accountability. Hello. But they're thinking that black people are going to seek vengeance when really black people just want reconciliation. That's it. And I feel like every group of people that have been oppressed deserves some sort of reconciliation. That's why at the end of the day, we're fucking humans. But let Ron tell it. Black people just be getting high all day, girl, off of Molly and lean and perks, girl, and just be fucking each other, girl, and just be coming up with these ideas in their head, in their dreams, girl. And they just some crazy ass black people. Girl. And all the shit that black people been through, I wish all this shit was fake. I wish all this shit was false. I wish this was all a bad dream. I wish it was, girl. Like, black people want to be proven wrong, girl. They tired of being proven right. Like, prove us wrong, girl. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're on the side of truth, then why are y'all not truthing? But yeah, I'm supposed to read the Homestead Act. Or the 40 Acres and a Mule, okay? girl, because again, we scholastic over here. We do our research, girl. I get it. Sometimes some of the ICDC college girl shit ain't gonna work, girl. So I get it, girl. I understand, girl. But for the hoes that's willing to listen, for the individuals who have the wherewithal and the capacity, girl, and the attention span, girl, of an actual scholar and not a river shrimp, girl, I'm talking to y'all. In January of 1865, okay, as the Civil War raged to its final battle, General William T. Sherman attended a meeting with a delegation of black leaders and asked them, "What do you want for your own people?" Reverend Garrison Frazier, the group's leader, stated, "The way we can best take care of ourselves is to have land to turn and till by our own labor." So even from the beginning, they were saying, we just want our own shit. We just want our own shit. We want to be able to create our own shit. That's it. That's what black people have been saying this whole time. So that same sentiment is still being echoed throughout history today. 4 days later, Sherman issued Special Field Order 15, aka the 40 acres and a mule, calling for the federal government to seize as much as 400,000 acres from the Confederacy and split it among the thousands of newly emancipated people. Now, just months after Sherman's order, Lincoln was assassinated, right? His successor, Andrew Johnson, a former slave owner and known white supremacist, okay, rescinded the order and returned the confiscated land to the same white men who had fought against the Union. Now, not only, girl, okay, did the federal government fail to make good on this 40 acres promised to black Americans. Again, black people didn't just wake up and, 40 acres and a mule. No, this is what was promised. So now when you make a promise and you don't hold your word to your promise, that causes us to look at your character and to start judging you by the content of your character, because there's a flawed aspect in the character. So once again, black people didn't just wake the fuck up one day and say, "Oh yeah." No, girl, this is what was promised to us. This is what came out of the forefathers' mouth. You know, the ones that bought us, but didn't just bought us, but beat us into mental, emotional, and spiritual submission so that the product doesn't go anywhere, girl. Because they say it's hard to work with animals and kids, girl, and they saw black people as animals. So again, the government at that time came out of their motherfucking mouth and told black people, "You do this for us, we're going to give you this," and that's a promise. Okay, not only did it fail to make good on its promise to black Americans with 40 acres and a mule, it began providing 160-acre land grants to white Americans and Europeans enticed to immigrate to the country. Excuse me. Now, from 1868 to 1934, girl, the land grants known as the Homestead Act allowed for 246 million acres, girl. That's nearly 10% of the nation's land, girl, much of which was stolen from indigenous people, girl, to be given to white families. It is estimated that there are more than 46, and this is recent, the estimation, girl, and the source is from Trina Williams Shanks, the Homestead Act, girl, okay? It is estimated. So we're talking ballpark figure, girl. We don't even understand what the actual number is, but it's estimated, girl, that there are more than 46 million white Americans, a quarter, okay, of the U.S. population, who are still beneficiaries of the Homestead Act, girl. Oh, that wasn't enough? Okay. Let's continue further with what's known as the New Deal. In 1933, during the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt enacted the New Deal. This deal subsidized farmers, created it subsidized farmers, it created Social Security unemployment insurance, labor unions, the Homeowners Loan Corporation, as well as other government interventions. So here it is. You got white people receiving some sort of package or handout from the government, girl. Do you see all this, girl? Back in 1933, girl. Hello. Now, the home, um, excuse me, had government interventions that had a positive impact on the economy, okay? In a compromise with white Southerners, Roosevelt agreed to exclude farm workers and domestics out of critical social safety net programs, social security, unemployment insurance. That exclusion left out 60% of all black workers, okay? And this was actually the first affirmation action, okay? Affirmative action, girl, for white people and their future, girl. Like, you have historical things here. Even now, we're having conversations about reparations and people in moments of in those moments in time, even now, that are contemplating the idea of trying to rectify what was done to this group of people. They don't have no problem rallying up these group of people. When it comes down for voting time, girl, there's no problem with trying to spiritually and emotionally arouse oppressed groups of people that their comeuppance is going to come, what your ancestors died for is going to finally manifest, girl, and then be told after they have once again done their work to create and change history, just like black people historically have changed history. It's always shat on, girl. Girl, if we was victims, girl, we would just sit down and let y'all continue to do it if we was victims, girl. If we was victims, we would literally go back to the plantation, girl, if we were victims. But what we're doing now is educating, and we're using this foreign system that we're not a part of, girl, naturally, girl. We didn't learn the system, girl, and now we're using the system against y'all, and y'all don't like it because the system was not created for black people. We know this historically, factually, girl. Like, this is pussy popping at its finest. This is backpedaling and pussy popping at its finest, girl. This is moonwalking and dream walking and parallel universe marvels, girl. At its finest, girl. Girl, I just have to laugh. I have to laugh at the talking points. I have to laugh at the viewpoints, girl, because it's like your argument and your talking points in reference to trying to discredit the plight of black people by using other people as slaves, but only using them as a talking point, but yet have not done your factual research to understand that some of the people that you're talking about have received some form of reconciliation. And all black people are saying, hold on, this is what you told me. This is what you told me. You told me. You told my people. Hello, you told us that this is what you was gonna do. And black people are trying to hold y'all to y'all word, and y'all not holding up y'all word. And y'all still not holding up y'all goddamn word, girl. And now that we're having critical race theory, girl, which shows the fuck shit that has happened, girl. Now that we have the information age and social media where we can go back in the past, girl, and learn from that shit so we don't keep doing the same shit over and over with, girl. Now all of a sudden people are saying, oh, you know, those in Senate, oh, well, that was so long ago on the statute of limitations. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers that's saying that, girl, got 3 chins, girl, got 8 necks, girl, got 12 stomachs and shit, girl, got a goddamn size 96 waist, girl, living La Vida, not broker, girl, and getting fat as fuck, girl, looking like a whole herd of cattle and shit, off of being a beneficiary of what their forefathers done. So it's so funny, the statutes of limitation on paying it, girl, we've passed that moment, girl. But the fact that your ass can swallow up 12 steaks in one sitting, girl, you're still benefiting off of what was that the past, you know, situation. The limitations have passed, girl, but you eating good off that past limitation. Okay, girl. Okay, girl. And this is what a lot of black people and oppressed people have to do, girl. They have to smile through it, girl. the grace and mercy, girl, the peace that black people and oppressed groups of people still fucking do, as opposed to just giving in to their rage and giving in to the bullshit, girl, and literally manifesting a larger fear than what y'all think we are, girl. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And that's why I feel, girl, in my personal opinion, that there needs to be emotional and spiritual awareness, girl. And when you are dead emotionally, when your heart is hardened, girl, and then claim a religion, girl, where the goddamn mascot, the goddamn forerunner, the goddamn showrunner of the religion, Jesus Christ, girl, told people to renew their mind, which means to open their mind, girl, and to not harden their heart, girl. What? I'm king. This is a key. This is an absolute key. It's an unfortunate key, but it's an absolute key, girl. Girl.
A minimum. And I know most black people that watch this or hear me say this are going to say, oh, well, Ron, you're just trying to make the issue of black slavery minuscule. You're trying to diminish the importance of what black slavery has done for America. But that same argument can be told to the Indians, because let's give out another fun fact. Indian slaves outnumbered the amount of black slaves that were in the entire Western Hemisphere before and after George Washington. So if I'm over here making black slavery a minuscule thing, then black people, you're over here making Indians being slaves minuscule. You're out here making Jewish people being slaves minuscule, Irish people being slaves minuscule, Asian people being slaves minuscule, if I haven't already said Chinese. You're out here minusculing the experience of 600 years of slavery before a black person ever even touched America.
Okay,
What's that to say about
so let's do this then. I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to validate your case. At this point, I think all the people who've been motherfucking hurt, used, and abused need to come together and figure out what we're gonna do as far as our reparation. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe black people need to link up with other oppressed groups of melanated people, colored people. Maybe black people need to link up with Native Americans. Okay? Black people need to also link up with other Asian people, Hispanic people, girl, Jewish people. I think those oppressed groups of people need to come together, girl, and figure out what's going on, because it's giving the illusion that, girl, oh, everybody else has been hurt, so shut up. But it still don't make it right, girl, and I ain't got to motherfucking shut up. Are you kidding me? Not when the shit is being done to me. Hell the fuck no, I'm not gonna shut up. That's what people want. Because their sins from their forefathers are being echoed in the street and they can't handle it, girl. That's why, according to the Bible, girl, with Jesus, he said, do unto others as you want them to do unto you, girl. He literally meant that for real, because it's like, girl, energetically speaking, whatever you put out, you're going to receive. So it's so funny. The oppressors are now understanding what it's like to be oppressed. And they haven't even really faced the full brunt of oppression, unlike the oppressed groups of people. For example, physical violence. Yeah. Because even oppressed groups of people, when they do things peacefully, girl, they're already being met with this animalistic resistance. Ron, you are failing at proving to black people why their argument for wanting reparations is farce, girl. If anything, you're just trying to erase the culprits, girl, because the culprits, girl, are the people that you politically align with. That's why I said Republican and Democrat is two wings on the same loud ass, fucked up ass eagle, girl. Girl, I'm gonna have to roll up again because my joints already be small because I have a small joint roller, girl. I'm at the roll up again, girl, because Ron, as one of the black people who is trying to understand you, and I understand that your life, you haven't fit in with a lot of black people in the black experience. And you're not the only one. I've had conversations with other people who also share those same things, but at least those people are willing to be emotionally honest. See, in order for truth, complete, objective truth to ring, girl, there has to be honesty in the mix, girl. And there are a lot of people who don't want to be honest, girl. And the universe is going to make y'all honest. It's going to make all of us honest. That's why I talk so much about self-love, girl. Because when you love yourself, you're willing to be honest with yourself. Even honest about the things that you know is wrong. Okay, girl. So once again, shout out to all those people. Maybe once again, we all need to come together collectively and figure out how the hell we gonna get our money, girl. Maybe the Chinese people and stuff. Maybe we can use all our resources and build a community, girl, and we just support each other and getting our reparations from our other people. How about that, girl? I like that. That's a good idea, girl. I mean, Fred Hampton, one of the Black Panthers influencers around that time, girl, he was actually trying to unite black people and Mexican people and Asian people and white. He was trying to recruit all of humanity, girl, and they took care of his ass, unfortunately, girl. They had to make sure his ass was gone, girl, because he was low-key doing the motherfucking cheat code, girl. R1, R2, L1, L2, bitch, up, down, left, right, girl, cheat code, to be able to bypass a lot of the labels that's keeping us divided, girl, and bringing us together, girl. They had to murder his ass quick, fast, in a hurry. So maybe you're onto something, Ryan. Maybe there is something that I can learn from this video. Maybe what I need to continue to do is to continue to branch out even more to other groups of people, other sections of humanity, girl, and figure out, okay, girl, I want to talk to y'all open-minded peoples. The people who close-minded, girl, this ain't for you. For the open-minded Asian people, let's talk. For the open-minded Hispanic people, let's talk. For the open-minded Jewish people, let's talk. For the open-minded Native Americans and indigenous people, let's talk. At this point, for all the open-minded people, let's sit down and talk. Let's build some sort of delegation, girl, and figure out how we're going to do this. Because at the end of the day, girl, we have all been enslaved. So at this motherfucking point, girl, we need to figure out, as being enslaved people, how do we get what is ours, and then on top of that, prevent that shit from happening to our people again. Maybe that's a good idea. Because Ron is doing a very poor piss-ass job at trying to defend white supremacy and say that, oh, you need to get your money somewhere else. Yes, that's why they say you are the mouthpiece, girl, and as much as I don't want to believe it, girl, I'm starting to see it. And then let's be real, girl. When we had a conversation about reparations, girl, I asked you a very interesting question, girl. I said, if black people get reparations, you're half black. Do you feel like you should deserve to receive some of this reparations? And you know what this ninja told me? That's why I'm like, girl, I gotta believe Ron ass is a troll, girl. If Ron ass is trolling, girl, and this is all an act, bitch, I will motherfucking cash app you. And bitch, I will go as far as to let you top me. And I am a goddamn top, so I don't even play those games, girl. Because, girl, if what you're doing is acting, this is an Academy Award winning motherfucking performance, bitch. If that is what you're doing. Okay? Girl. Okay, let's continue as I roll up yet another motherfucking joint, girl. First of all, let me give God praise real quick for the weed, bitch. I know Ryan will be thankful for this part. Let me just, come on, where that white bitch at?
In the name of Jesus, you be made whole by the power of God.
Thank you, Lord. Ikadabo Shande Ishkatai Pookie. Yes, Pookie. Thank you, God, for weed, Lord, because I'm on planet Earth, Father God, just trying to connect to humanity, Lord, and humanity is hurting, Father God. They not healing from their past. They're not going to therapy, Lord. They're not talking about it. They're not crying the shit out, girl. They trying to fuck it out, Lord. They trying to smoke it out, Lord. They trying to drink it out, Lord. They trying to do all this stuff only, girl. And they not even trying to find some sort of mental, emotional, and spiritual healing, Father God. So I ask right now in your name that you please infuse this weed even more than what it is now, because my chest was burning, so I know I got a good one, girl, but I know there is more that needs to be said in the spirit. So with that being said, girl, please continue to bless the dispensaries, Lord. Bless the please bless the plugs, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Just thank God for the plugs, Lord. Ooh, if my plug wasn't my brother, bitch, and it was some other nigga and he was attractive, girl, I wouldn't mind giving head for some weed, Lord, because the weed be so good, Father God. So in your name, I say, a Graham. Amen, girl. That prayer was taken from the book of Blunticus, girl. Chapter 4, verse 20, bitch. Praise him. Let's continue.
That everyone did not get reparations. Irish people did not get reparations. Do we see them out here trying to beg California for $5 million ahead of reparations? Slavery was evil and demonic. Let's not get that wrong. Slavery was evil and demonic, but it was not evil and demonic for just black people. It was a worldwide, global, evil, demonic situation.
So why are we not addressing the evil, demonic situation? If you are a follower of Christ and evil and demonic is against what you believe, and that's antichrist, why are you not giving this much energy and smoke to the antichrist behavior that has happened to all these people, instead of getting on your platform, girl, because you can do what you want to do. At the end of the day, I would never want to take away your freedom of speech. Girl, say what the hell you want to say, girl. I'm going to say what I want to say too. That's all. But you get up here on this platform, girl, and you trying to argue down these people who factually have the evidence to support what they're saying. And for them to be like, no, 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 no. Y'all is wrong. Y'all is wrong and y'all is acting stupid. Y'all is dumb. Y'all is acting stupid and dumb because y'all over here still want to be victims and still want to do this shit and whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop. All black people is asking for they shit. They shit, girl. And these demonic ass influences that these people are projecting onto the world, girl, they're still benefiting from all of the centuries worth of oppression that they have done, girl. And whether they want to believe it or not, girl, their time is here. Girl, I sound extra gay. I think I sound extra gay, girl, because I'm reviewing Ron's commentary, girl, so I gotta be extra gay. Girl. Why are you trying to defend the evil people and then call them Democrats, girl? Well, it ain't just a Democratic Party. It ain't just. That's the thing we trying to get you to understand, girl. It ain't just, girl. Okay, girl, let me, girl. Girl, this is life. This is real life, girl. I am on planet Earth, and this is real life. Wow to the wow, 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 girl. Girl, like I said, girl, the powers that be, girl, that feel like they ain't exempt, girl, the universe came through and said, oh, really? For real? Girl, the universe coming in like this, bitch. Girl, the universe coming in like that, girl. They want the universe to slow down, girl. When they was bending motherfuckers over, girl, and just shoving all type of dick up in motherfuckers, girl, with no goddamn lube, girl, and enjoying the shit and the humiliation that they was doing over people, girl, feel some type of way because now they have woken up, girl, from being unconscious and they motherfucking prostrated and motherfucking bent and stressed the fuck out, girl. face down, ass up, because that's the way y'all like to fuck, girl. And then feel some type of way when the universe come through with a much bigger dick, looking like that motherfucker from American Horror Story Hotel, girl, with that goddamn unicorn horn for a dick, girl, coming through. That's why I say do unto others, girl. And you see, I didn't sit up here and threaten violence on him, whatever the case may be, girl. Because I feel like Ron shouldn't receive no physical violence, girl. Now, if anything, you can cuss his ass out. You can do that. Oh, yes, cuss these motherfuckers out. That's what I'm on, girl, at this damn point, girl. Let they ass have it, girl. Read them. Read them down, girl. So when the gays be reading, girl, it's not right, but it's okay. Cause at the end of the day, your ass still gay. You still wanna fuck in the butt. Girl. Okay, let's continue, girl.
To the human race. In South Carolina, the biggest slave owner out of 171 black slave owners was a man named William Edison.
That's true.
Who had over 900 acres of land in South Carolina.
That's true.
And over...
Bitch, I'm with you when you right. Girl, I'm with you when you right, girl. I'm with you when you right. That's absolutely true, girl. When he said that, I looked it up and I said, oh, okay, yes, thank you. Here's a piece of evidence that I did not know, girl. So yes, that is true. That is absolutely true, girl. You're absolutely right about that, girl. So I will give you that. You're absolutely right, girl. So black people do need to start having conversations about black slave owners, girl. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Some people already have, girl. For the individuals who follow me on Instagram, and we sat down and watched the video that Ron ass sent me, girl, that low-key destroyed his whole argument, girl. I'm like, when the enemy, not the enemy, girl. I don't even look at the enemy, girl. When the individual who has an opposing view sends you a live, unbeknownst to them, that bodies their whole goddamn talking points and literally immobilizes them, girl. It was like, girl, I didn't have to get up there and even talk to you, girl. If we was going to sit up here and debate, because I didn't set it up like a debate, I set it up like a conversation. The conversation like we've been having behind the scenes, girl. I told him, why don't we have these type of conversations in front? Since you're talking about humanity, since you're talking about, oh, all these people have been oppressing humanity, girl. Okay, let's have the humanity conversation, girl, and you didn't do that. But if it was a debate type of conversation, girl, I could have just played that motherfucking video you sent me, girl, of that video essay called, once again, The Confusing Nature of Black Conservatives, not liberals, sorry, Black Conservatives, girl, and how they was able to break it down, girl, from the beginning all the way up till now, girl, how that was still a play it was still done to placate to whiteness, that white was right. So hell, even in those times you had black slave owners. You goddamn right, girl. Just like you had black overseers, girl, who was willing to motherfucking snitch on any sort of black liberation, girl. Yes, you had Uncle Ruckus's, girl. You had motherfucking the nigga from damn Django, Samuel L. Jackson, motherfucker him. Of course, girl. Because there were other black people who would do whatever it was necessary to escape the black experience. Even if that means hurting their own people. Even if that means turning on their own people. Just like, see, that's why context and nuance is so important, girl. Like, the fact that he got up here and just shared that fact like it was this monumentous thing, girl. Like, it was something new for me. It was something new for me, but he made it seem like, oh, girl, this is gonna destroy them. So girl, at this point, when we talk about reparations, we don't care about whiteness, blackness, whatever, girl. The government at the end of the day is gonna pay that. And if the motherfucker paying me is black, if the motherfucker paying me is white, if the motherfucker paying me is Asian, Hispanic, girl, goddamn Jewish, goddamn Muslim, whatever the case may be, girl, just pay me. Just like how a lot of motherfuckers don't motherfucking care, girl, when they pull up to a motherfucking fast food window, girl. I don't care who the fuck is making my shit, girl. Just make my shit and give it to me after I done paid for it. So again, that was a nice attempt at trying to strengthen your belief in your side. And maybe you should do a part 2, Ron, because I know you watching. That's the one thing about me, girl. I may not have a lot of motherfuckers watching, girl, but I have the right ones watching, girl. And that's been me ever since before YouTube, girl. And that's just being factual. That's just part of my leprechaun magic. Leprechaun swag, girl. But maybe in part 2, maybe you should explore that more. Maybe you should give us a history lesson on the black slave owners. Like, do that. Like when you did your last live, girl, and you put them clips in from Bigo and just showing one aspect of LGBT, girl, but you won't sit up here and have a conversation with other individuals like myself, girl, no shade, in a emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually honest way, and not dishonest, girl, but to show us who Ron Vuggotta is and not Ron Vuggotta, the conservative commentator, girl. Maybe you should go ahead and do that the next time, girl, so that we can be educated. Educate us, because we the ignorant ones, right? We're the dumb ones, right? We're the ones who lack common sense. So if we're already mentally ill, according to you, and you being a Republican, just, I don't know if it's a superpower buff, girl, like we playing a game or something, girl. Break it down for the ignorant and mentally ill. I mean, that's what we're doing for y'all. So if y'all on the side of truth, why not? And on top of that, girl, when you got the truth, girl, y'all would love to slap it in our face, girl. If y'all had the truth, girl, y'all would love to motherfucking beat us in the face with it, girl. So I'm just saying, do it now. Do it now, girl. Like, show black people how dumb we are and ignorant we are and stupid we are for believing in this mystical thing that blew up because of Roots. Because apparently, girl, from what you said earlier, girl, Roots is one of the manifestations for us to really take this shit seriously, girl. What? Okay, let's continue.
68 slaves. Let's talk about the married black couples in South Carolina who between 1810 and 1868 had upwards of 170 slaves.
Yeah, they
so
did.
are they going to be paying reparations too, or are we just going to keep
Well, you said Africa, girl, so I mean, we still got to get Africa. Like, Africa ain't off the list. Africa ain't on the list, girl. It's just that we know who on the top of the list. Because we gonna deal with the motherfuckers that we've been dealing with, girl. You deal with the individuals you're dealing with recently, girl. And then we can go ahead and moonwalk our way back to the genesis of this shit. Because we have to go to the beginning anyway, girl. We're going to complete the circle, girl. Trust me, those Africans who did shit to us, girl, trust me, girl. Something gonna happen, girl. Accountability coming for everybody, girl. But the head gonna get it first. Just like the head of a dick is the most sensitive on the male anatomy, girl. You attack the motherfucking head, girl, everything else falls. And you talking to the gays, girl, so you know the gays know how to deep throat that shit down to the balls, girl. Girl. The hope and the dream of the slave is literally manifesting, girl, and there's nothing that could be done, about it, because this time it's spiritual. The accountability is happening whether we want it to or not. That awareness is happening whether we want it to or not, girl. Now, how we respond to it is what makes all the difference. Like, I don't understand what the problem is with giving black people what they're owed. But then it goes back to what he said earlier. Well, y'all ain't the only one. It's a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Well, girl, y'all should have thought about that before y'all was enslaving. Y'all should have been in the present moment, girl, and be like, yeah, this ain't right, girl. Let's not do this because, girl, spiritually speaking, bitch, our generations after us, girl, as some generation is going to have to pay for what the fuck we've done, girl. So y'all can't talk about no lickbacks and all this shit now, girl, after y'all done did this shit, girl. Like, y'all wouldn't have to pay so many motherfucking people if y'all ain't do the insidious dark shit, girl. Y'all want to fuck around with the devil, girl, and then get mad, girl, when the devil say, okay, it's time to collect, girl. That's what happens when you fuck with the devil, girl. You talking about the shit evil and demonic. What do you think is going to happen when you fuck with evil and demonic stuff? It comes to collect, girl. And it's just coming to collect. And now they want to use black melanated queer mouthpieces to be able to speak and say what they want to say, but afraid to say, girl, because they know that the world we live in is more critical, girl. So more people gonna call them out on their bullshit, which is why they working so hard to make all this shit systemic, girl, so that regardless of what the fuck people say, girl, it's law. But that's crazy that I know all this and I'm the one that's mentally ill, girl. I should be the one. I shouldn't even be talking about this right now. I should be talking about my latest motherfucking OnlyFans video that is up. I should be talking about how I'm about to stretch a nigga out tonight. I should be talking about, I should be on live right now off a perk 30 and a perk 50, girl. I should be up here slinging my dick in a circle, in a rhombus, in a square, in a triangle, girl, in the formation of a cross. I should be up here twerking with a damn dildo, a cross dildo up my ass, girl, with satanic music playing in the background, girl. Meanwhile, I'm on live smoking a goddamn joint, critiquing the thoughts of one of my fellow melanated queer brothers, girl, who don't want to be associated with the oppressed groups of people, girl. And don't worry, I was like that before. When I was in high school, girl, and I went to a predominantly white high school, and my high school started to get black, girl, there was a point in time where I had a little bit of self-hatred, girl, because these white people was treating me right, girl. Even though I ain't faced no racist type of shit, girl, didn't mean that they didn't have any racist viewpoints about other people, girl. I had a whole friend who's Hispanic, girl. His mom is racist toward black people, girl, but she loved me. I can come in the house and spend the night. Other black people, hell no. I remember we had a mutual black friend, me and my Hispanic friend, girl, and we went over to his house, girl, and his mom told him that the black friend can't come in the house, girl, because he gonna try to steal something. Girl, what? But I'm allowed access in the house. I can go and stay the night over at the house, girl, and shit still be there. And there was a point in time where I looked at other black people and I was like, girl, I ain't them. I'm not those black people. And when people talk about nigga moment, because I remember I said something and people were saying that in the comments during our live conversation, and he was like, the fact that you guys want to wish that on me or whatever, girl, we ain't trying to wish shit on you, girl. If anything, we just trying to get you prepared for an unfortunate reality. And we hope you never have a nigga experience. Because the world we live in now, a lot of motherfuckers don't survive their nigga experience. Even when they're doing what they're told to do. And again, just because you ain't having that experience doesn't mean that there aren't other black people who are happy. All right.
Labeling that only white people held slaves, but at the same time in that era, let's not forget, all white people didn't own slaves, but we had black people in South Carolina, in Louisiana, period, all around the world, slaving people. It is your own ancestors that you love to claim that, want the best for you. And these same ancestors that y'all are telling me that are disappointed, rolling in their graves, crying for me because I'm over here being a Republican mouthpiece, which is so asinine. It's so asinine that black people,
Yes,
liberals in
yes,
general, love to talk about
vocabulary.
love and unity, but they're the most segregated, divisive group in America. You want to talk about how
Now let's talk about the ancestor stuff. The ancestors that black people are talking about are the ancestors who put their lives on the line for a higher expansion and awareness of blackness besides just being property. The reason why people saying they're rolling in their grave is because if it wasn't for their sacrifices, neither me nor yo girl, I wanted to read, girl. No, fuck, you talking about the ancestors, girl. I can get you one time, girl. You sitting up here with this motherfucking Michael Jackson bell pepper ass nigga nose on your face, girl. If it wasn't for them, none of us with our nigga noses would be able to sit up here on this good motherfucking Beyonce internet, girl, to share our opinions about anything. And if you really want to talk about it, Ron, you're a triple minority. You're black, you're Asian, and you're queer. Girl, goddamn, I'm only black and queer. So if our ancestors didn't put in the work to include themselves into humanity, girl, me and you, as well as all of the people in the comments who are melanated, girl, would not be able to respond whatsoever, ever, girl. At all. At all. At all, girl. So yes, they are turning over in their graves, girl. They are turning over in their graves, girl. But that's okay, girl. That's all right. Even our ancestors had to deal with individuals, girl, who thought it was safe on the plantation, girl. Why would you want to leave? We get, as long as you reach your quota, as long as you do your quota and reach your quota, as long as you don't get fucking pissed the master off or hope he in the mood, girl, as long as you do what is required of you, girl, you don't have to worry about. Because the only other alternative is death. And that's why in the Bible, girl, with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, told you to die unto yourself daily, which means to die unto the false self that believes in the fear. That's what those slaves did, girl. They tapped into that Christ energy, that love energy for self to say, girl, I'm dead either way. But if I'm going to die, at least I'm going to have the right to choose how I'm going to die, because I at least have that right. And when they survived, they realized that maybe God's source universe does care about me and care about the expansion of that. So once again, the sacrifices of black people and probably Asian people. I'm very ignorant when it comes to the Asian race, so maybe you can educate me on that, because I'm pretty sure they had their own liberation and their own struggles that they dealt with in order to include certain subsections of that community into humanity. You can educate me on that. But when we're talking about blackness, girl, and you are part black, I can't speak to the Asian side. Now, I would love for you to educate me more on that. I would love for you to make a video or something response to be able to help me understand more about the Asian side, because I'm open-minded and I'm about humanity. But what we're not going to do is sit up here and discount other people's experiences of humanity to say, oh, well, everybody else went through. Well, y'all not the only slaves. Black, when it comes down to reparations, it's not the fact of us being the only slaves. It's the fact of y'all acknowledge what y'all did was wrong, and now it's time to pay up. And again, reparations wasn't our idea. We were asked, what do we want? And we simply just said that we want to be able to have land of our own, that we can till on our own. We want to be able to do our own shit without any sort of intervention from y'all. That's it. Give us the resources that we are owed, because once again, context and nuance, we put our motherfucking lives on the line. Even though we are enslaved, girl, we're fighting for freedom. And girl, if we're going to fight in this war with you and align with you, there has to be something in it for us as well. And that promise did not manifest. So hell yeah, you gonna have to motherfucking pay up. And let's not talk about pain and suffering, girl. And if y'all don't want to give black people shit, then like I said, give black people at least a 90% discount on everything, girl. Watch how many motherfuckers who ain't black, girl, who deny they black side, girl. All of a sudden, now I went to Ancestry.com and I found out that I'm goddamn 3% black. And according to racists, girl, if you only have one drop of nigger blood in you, girl, you're full blood nigger. So, baby, you talking about bailouts and shit, girl. And America also used that money with other countries too. So I mean, damn, maybe the whole world is indebted to black. Girl, that's why I pray. That's why I pray. And that's why I do self-love, girl. Because whatever the fuck is finna happen, girl, that's finna have everybody objectively aware, girl, and have us as human beings, girl. And we about to have all these labels and these goddamn safety nets snatched from us. And we gonna see it for what it really is, all together as one, girl. Bitch. I'm gonna make sure I have my joint rolled, girl. Because, bitch, it's gonna be a time to motherfucking cuss, fight, and pray, bitch.
You deserve reparations, black people. Then why not get it from Africa? The people that sold you out. Because if you ask me, the seller is worse than the buyer. Nobody would be buying Africans if the African leaders weren't over there selling them off. Let's throw out some more fun facts. White people could not sustain living in Africa because of diseases like malaria. It was quicker for a white person to catch malaria before they could go around with a machete catching a black person, which was never true because, again, white people bought their black slaves off the coastline. Who put the slaves on the coastline? It's very disheartening to me that black Americans want to invalidate the experiences of your black ancestors, the people who fought for their lives to stay on their own land against their own people chaining them up, putting them in boxes or however they shipped them off, and had them sitting on the coastline like some doubloons. I don't get the notion that black people deserve this, black people deserve that, when you were not the only slaves in the whole entire world. If anything, you were 600 years to thousands of years behind on slavery.
It don't matter about whether we was 1,000, whatever the case may be. I'm speaking in reference to all oppressed people and enslaved people, including black people. Again, this was a promise that was made to black people. Black people wasn't even really free like that. And they were told to put their lives on the motherfucking line for freedom for everybody, for slavery to be abolished. They were not given what was owed to them. And even the black people who did have resources at that time, because you have Black Wall Street, who literally, they built their own black schools, black banks, black grocery stores. But because the product has now started to work for themselves, they then left the goddamn system that does not appreciate them. And now they have the resources and the wherewithal, because they already had the skills in order to build their own, girl, and they were doing it better than those that enslaved them. So guess what the fuck they did, girl? They burnt down Black Wall Street, girl. That's why I want to have conversations, because whatever fact you have and whatever fact I have, let's put it on the motherfucking table and see what's real, so we can get to the real issue here. Now, will reparations solve all of blackness? Hell no, it won't. But it's a goddamn good ass start. Because a lot of shit that's going on now with black people killing other black people and murdering and robbing and selling drugs and all that shit is because economically there isn't some sort of generational wealth there for black people. Because if black people had more money to be able to do what the hell they wanted to do and to actually live their life, I promise you crime and all that shit will go down. Because that's a part of housing. It's a lot of elements here that are playing And no shade, there are people who are even more qualified than you and I who have done the research to validate that that is what's happening to oppressed groups of people, in particular black people, for centuries. And the issue is that there are white people who are living very nice lives right now, comfortable lives right now, rich ass wealthy lives right now, based off of what black people have done, and they have not been compensated for what they have done. The reparations is to pay them back for their work plus interest. Because again, a lot of white America, a quarter of the population, girl, is still beneficiaries from what has happened. Again, that's factual, that's objective, that is truth. Again, you are failing at this. You are failing at this, but that's okay. Because I don't think your objective in this, when it comes to being a conservative mouthpiece, is to win. It's to, you're talking about distraction and division, girl. That's exactly what you're doing. Like, girl, you ain't bringing up no facts. You ain't dropping no links, no articles, girl. You ain't bringing up any sort of scholastic thing to help black. But I guess according to you, black people are not smart and they don't educate themselves. So what's the point of wasting time, effort, and energy, you know, because black people don't read. You know what they say? If you want to keep something from a black person, put it in the book, girl, until they meet individuals like me who actually read the books. And hell yeah, as a black man, I'm going to continue to bring the facts, because our ancestors, our nigger-nosed ancestors, our full-lipped ancestors, our kinky hair ancestors, I would say fat ass, but you ain't got no ass, Ron, but our thick ancestors had their hands chopped off, their eyes ripped out, and their tongues cut out for simply attempting to read and to become fluent in the language that is not native to them. Okay, Ron. All right.
But somehow slavery around the whole world is a black person's commodity. Oh, I'm special because I'm a black person who helped build America. Bitch, what?
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about this. It is the work of black people that have built America to what it is today. Okay, well, I didn't know black people came over to America as the pilgrims with the Indians. So are you now trying to say that, well...
Girl, this is so cringy, girl. We're talking about the great United States of America that your capitalistic Christian ass loves so much above all things. Remember, God first, money second, cream, cash rule, everything around me. And God told me to tell y'all niggas that that's the case, girl. It was the slaves, black people, who built the wealth of this country, because once again, we were considered property, girl. It was because of cotton picking, girl, that was the biggest, one of the biggest inceptions of wealth for America to be the great nation that it is today, girl. And we can even talk about all the inventions that were stolen from black people, and all the inventions now that people like you and I can benefit from, like heart surgery. A black man was the first man to be successful in heart surgery. And remember that situation I asked you, or that hypothetical situation that I posed to you about a trans woman, if you were suffering from an intense heart attack, girl, and you needed emergency heart surgery, girl, and the only qualified individual to do your surgery was a trans woman, girl. And I asked you, girl, because she's trans, would you allow her to perform that surgery on you, even though you feel in your mind, in your heart, soul, and spirit, and through the religious lens that trans people are not good people. This is your words out of your own mouth. I'm not putting words in your mouth. That trans people are not good people, that they're mentally ill and all this stuff. So will you allow this mentally ill person who is qualified to do this heart a transplant or surgery, girl, emergency surgery on you? Would you allow it to happen, or will you really commit to your faith and die and say, well, it must be my time to go? I would rather go see the Father than allow this transformer, according to you, a nigga in a wig, according to you, to touch my damn heart. And you told me that you would allow her to do it. I got, again, there is little hope in me that is trying to believe that your ass is genuine and sincere, girl. But there's a bigger part of me that's like, girl, this is for money. This is for money. This is for money. Girl, not you over here literally manifesting and being the motherfucker. Not, girl, not you over here with your talking points sounding like the exact same Africans that sold other Africans into slavery, girl. Not you operating that same energy, girl. Not you telling me that you will be on the coast, girl, talking about look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. Hundreds gold for this one. Some beads for this one. And hell, your ass is gay, so maybe some of that white dick, this one. Girl, let me shut up.
Let me give you guys another piece of alleged history from the black people.
Yes, come on, legend.
Black people, the ancestry, BLM, spiritual African king, queen black people, those black people, they're out here alleging now that black people were in America before white people, and that we were selling the whole entire world before anybody else on this planet. Now, if that is the case, truly, if that is the case, then how did white people go to Africa and enslave you if you were already here in America? So did you already make yourselves?
There are different forms of blackness. Just like how you're Afro and Filipino, there are people who are Afro and Latino. Okay? There are people who are indigenous people who are melanated. So even the concept of black is an American thing that was created. But what they're saying is that melanated people have been here far longer than individuals who are not melanated. And once again, we're talking about the African American thing, because white people came in and they colonized this land, and now they needed people to come be slaves to work on this land and to make this nation great. So they went into other places and bought people who they deemed is that, yes, you had black. Of course, girl, like over in Africa, it ain't just one big unified thing. You got tribes fighting against tribes. You got all this other type of shit that's going on. You had people who did wars and sold those who survived the war on the enemy side, girl, who were captives of war, sold them off into slavery. We're talking about, again, a promise that, once again, black people didn't make. White people told black people. We're not going to skip past that. That's what you want us to do. You want us to look everywhere else except here. No, we're talking about right here in America. We're talking about what's happening with African American people. And then on top of that, with that being said, if reparations does come to the South where you live, girl, don't get your ass in line talking about I want my money, girl. Hell no, remember? Remember, girl? You told us we didn't deserve it, girl, so don't be trying to come get your 2-piece in a biscuit, girl, when they start passing out pieces and biscuits. Because, girl, a lot of the hood niggas, when your ass talk about where my money at, they gonna look at you and do this. Girl, give you all type of flashbacks. No shade. Okay, girl, let me stop. Because that wasn't right.
Slaves, which, if I think about it, that could be true, because let's not forget, One of the biggest slave owners in South Carolina was a black man named William Edison
Yep.
with over 900 acres of land.
Yep.
So maybe that could be true. Maybe black people weren't brought over to here on slave ships. Maybe they were already selling the world.
You have some black people, girl, who was willing to not, who would do anything to not accept being a part of the objective reality of blackness, girl. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised, girl. You just said there were black people who sort out their own people, girl. I wouldn't be surprised that it stopped. We're talking about what happened to the collective, to the whole. You make it seem like all of goddamn slave owners were black people. Of course, there were black ones scattered about, and we need to learn more about them. Because there's always been people in history, girl, who is willing to sell out their own just so they don't have to endure. There are people out there who love and want to get the affirmation of their oppressor, girl, so that I don't have to deal with what they're going through. Like, there are people who are always going to want to be exempt, girl. That's just one of the facets of humanity, unfortunately, is that we're about self-preservation. And if that means selling other people out, there are some people who will do that, girl. And that's not a black or white thing. That's a human thing, unfortunately. Whenever someone's life and someone's mortality is flashed before their eyes, you'll be surprised at how many other people will sit up here and literally compromise their integrities and their morals and values, girl, just to protect themselves. So yes, there were black slave owners. There weren't a lot of them. There were not a lot of them, but there were some of them. So we're not going to ignore that either. And once again, hopefully you can continue to educate us about black slave owners. Like, girl, this is your plight that you're trying to get black people to understand. Because at first you told me that you ain't want no liberals watching your shit, and now that you didn't now that you have been gaslit by liberals, not me, but I'm talking about the people who was dragging you and reading you for your face and all that other type of stuff, girl. Now you want to direct your attention to them because this is your opportunity to get those people back who hurt you, girl. Girl. Come on, capitalism. Come on, God supremacy, girl. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And just slaving their own people like they were doing in Africa. They slaved them on over.
Oh, let me do my cheap nigga shit because I was told CashApp is nigga shit. So let me do that. Boom. Got to put that down there. Let's continue.
To America. All I know is no matter what theory you want to use, the theory that has been perpetuated, which is why I now don't agree with critical race theory. It's completely false. It's completely false to believe that racism was just a slavery was just a racism issue, black against white. No, white people were slaves. It's a horrible thing to say, but it's the truth. Slavery was rated E for everyone. Nobody was excluded. If we're going to talk about who actually deserves reparations, I believe that it is the people who fought for black people's freedom, which are the Republicans.
I can't do this.
She wants more.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Girl, no. No. What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, girl? Girl, I just hope it's worth it. No shade. I hope it's worth it. I really hope it's worth it. I really hope the lack of context and nuance is really, really, really worth it, girl. Because, like, once again, like, we're in the information age, and once again, because we have the facts and all this stuff available to us, ignorance is a choice because it means that people don't have to deal with their accountability. And we love throwing this word accountability around now. Accountability, being accountable. Be accountable for yourself first. That's why I talk about self-love so much, because one of the principles of self-love is accountability, which means your ass think twice before you say or do stuff. Which is, it calls to be open-minded, because what if I was in their shoes? It calls for a certain level of, I don't know, empathy and emotional awareness. And Ron, I can tell that you are emotionally hurt and low-key dying. Because your talking points literally make no sense. They are over the place. You're not bringing things up to substantiate it. Now, there was a few points you made that was true, like the black slave owners. I will give you that again. I'm with you when you write. But, girl, there is a lot of matter-of-fact information and talking points that you're trying to install as if though this is some revolutionary. What's happening, what we're seeing through the expression of racism, and it's not the only expression of accountability, girl. It's all across the board. But for the conversation's sake, through I'll say preparation, Lord. Girl, Andrew Caldwell, girl. Okay, you want your part? Okay, girl, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's one thing. And
You wanted it,
Okay.
and you got it.
You what?
You wanted it,
And you what?
and you got it.
Okay, girl. Now back up off my tongue, girl. In the context of racism, girl, white people are afraid that their karma is coming to them, and it is. And the gag is that they've had so many moments in time to actually rectify the situation, and that there were some white people who did see what the fuck was going on and was able to be empathetic and to be able to understand and be accomplices. Fuck an ally, girl, but accomplices when it comes down to liberation of black people. Hello, you think when Martin Luther King had his I Have a Dream speech that it was just all black people in attendance? No. There were all different types of groups of people that were in attendance, because people can be empathetic. People are now being emotionally aware and being awakened emotionally to be able to look back and sit back and say, damn, what if that was me? What if that happened to me? And a lot of white America and privileged people, they didn't really have to worry about that, girl, because when you're privileged, who's going to really sit up here and think about that, girl? Like, my life is blessed, so why would I think about this, girl? That's poor people shit. That's not me. That's black people shit. That's not me. Girl. And the universe said, okay, girl, well, let me show you what's human, girl. Let me show you what's not exclusive, girl, but it's inclusive, girl. Oppression. Yeah, because critical race theory, girl, is going to actually tell the truth. Yeah, because now the tables are turning, the tides are shifting now. That's why I say when it comes down to Christianity, I feel like the most important thing that we should listen to, if we're going to read this book and if you're going to call yourself a Christian, is to actually read and follow and apply the methods of Christ if you call yourself a Christian. And again, Christ said to do unto others. He was saying that whatever you put out in the universe is going to come back to you. And you don't get to control how the hell your karma come to you, girl. And what's happening is that privileged people are dealing with their karma and they don't know how to deal with it because they're used to having their way all, all, all of the motherfucking time. What's up, Queen Amber? I'm about to pull you up on my phone because some of the comments is not coming up on my y'all in here. Damn, y'all was in here. I didn't even know. I'm at the look at y'all comments on my phone because it's not showing up on my comments thing on my screen, y'all, where I can highlight them. Matter of fact, let me read some of y'all comments right now. Spicy said, "Bless your heart for paying this boy any mind. He keeps proving himself to be out of his depths on these topics." And it's not just for him, because I understand there are some people who revelation has to happen for Ron for him to be able to figure out what's going on in his life. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But this is for like also those in the future, girl. Like this could possibly be used as someone's goddamn study thesis in reference to racism and conservatism within blackness. Like there was an individual who did an amazing job at creating a video essay called the confusing nature of black conservatives, girl. Who knows, I might be included in part 2, girl, because they might be able to use Ron. Like I believe that Ron as is going to aspire to be a Candace Owens, to be a Herschel Walker, to be a what's that other nigga that I would, girl, fuck the melanin back into his skin, girl, Christian Walker, girl. Like, and I feel like he's going to get there, girl, because according to him and what he told me, girl, and some of the stuff, girl, Candace Owens fucking up, girl. Motherfucking Ben Shapiro, like, bitch, okay, girl, come on now. You're black. You're supposed to understand what racism is. And when Kanye said that, girl, so who knows? He might be in the next spot, girl. But at the end of the day, this is America. So just like this, that's why I don't mind everybody sharing their opinions. And I want people to share their opinions so we can see what is real and what ain't. Like, I'm tired of the political correctness. I'm tired of walking around on eggshells, girl. Let's just motherfucking get in the motherfucking thing and just motherfucking do what needs to be done, girl. Let's have a conversation, girl. And we need to have emotional conversations as well. Emotion is important because that's another facet of humanity that we're neglecting, which is why we see all these bombastic, very drastic, jarring ass, explosive expressions of violence in the world, because we're not dealing with people's emotions, because it's part of the human experience. So we need those emotions, but we need people, or the conversations need to be had by individuals who are not just mentally aware, but emotionally aware as well, to understand the other side, to comprehend what is going on with them, and trying to find a gray area and resolutions and resolve that benefits everybody. And there are some people who are, okay, maybe, girl, at this point, do I feel like Ron Ash need to be teaching this class about racism and queerphobia? No, girl. He needs to sit down and go through a few more classes before he gets up here and makes a fool of himself, which he is entitled to do. He probably feels like I'm a fool. Well, you're going to sit up there for 2 hours with 5 people and talk about me? Oh, my God. See, I told you, woke and broke. He's the definition of woke and broke, girl. He going to believe how he feel about me. That's fine, girl. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to live my life and be me regardless. But as long as this is on the good Beyonce inner tubes, girl, the interwebs, girl, I'm going to give commentary on your shit, especially when you're talking shit. Just like I know there will be people in the future, girl, who will give commentary on my commentary, and I welcome that, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get to a resolution. I don't know everything, girl, but I am going to get up here and talk about what I do know and then back that up. Ron Mem says, Irish people weren't slaves, though. They were poor and worked alongside black slaves, but they were never enslaved. Oh, wow. Black slaves were not even considered as human, but human farm machinery. Wow, okay. Aries says, maybe you should talk about America as a continent that was built on racism instead of referring America as one country. His information might be coming from outside sources. Many African American classes explore everything outside of the U.S., so maybe that's what he is using, which is true, which I can see that. But that's what I was talking about. I was talking about America as I was talking about America, like what has happened to African Americans here. And I think he was using those as talking points to kind of deflect from like paying attention to right here. Like critical race theory is going to pay attention to what happened in America. And really more so what happened with the enslavement. And not just that, how white people are still benefiting from that enslavement now. So of course this is once again groups of people who are choosing to not be oppressed, who has put in the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice to prove their existence, and how their existence was being destroyed. Literally, we've seen this again factually throughout history. In the 60s and 70s, black people came together and did their own shit. They used whatever resources they had. They built community. They wasn't wealthy. They didn't have all the fucking wealth and all this shit. They were using their shit to be able to come together and help each other, which meant that whatever you ain't got, I got it. I'm going to share it with you. There were black people who literally became their own police. Not to stop the organized police from doing what they're doing, but can we at least make sure that the niggas that y'all are arresting can go to jail before y'all beat the shit out of them on the fucking streets, which was very objectively happening. You had black leaders, you had black delegation, you had all type of different forms of blackness, different minds of blackness. Black people who believe the system can work if we work at it from the inside. Black people who said fuck the system, burn it down. Black people like myself who were trying to also encourage more emotional and spiritual awareness, girl. They were all able to sit down at a table and to be able to share their thoughts without them yelling, screaming, calling each other shit. Will they have disagreements? Of course, but they would know how to do it respectfully. So you had all different type of intersections of blackness growing, black people getting into their creative energy, girl. The black music was talking about revolution. The black music was talking about black love. You had everybody coming together monolithically trying to discover a healthy version of blackness, girl. And look what happened to that. We didn't stop that, girl. We didn't stop that. The crack... There are people that I realize once again who are choosing to be ignorant, and that's the gag. Like people are choosing to be ignorant. They are making the conscious choice to be ignorant because they're afraid. They're afraid that something evil or demonic is going to happen to them. They're afraid of looking in the mirror, and that's all this shit is happening. Y'all have no problem talking about black people. Look. How about this? Y'all gonna survive. White America's going to survive. Black people have been the brunt of everyone's joke, and you're talking about just in America. All over the fucking world. I literally have a friend close to me right now who lived in Guatemala that when he came over to America, his own Guatemalan grandmother told him to be careful of the black people in America. So there's already this distinctive type of fear-based ideology about black people around the fucking world. And black people, in the midst of all of our oppression, girl, still survive, still know how to make $1 out of goddamn 10 cent, girl. White people will survive. At this point, girl, what we're going to tell white people when the shit hit the fan is, girl, welcome to niggerdom. Welcome me, welcome you. We survived for centuries and we still here, girl. Y'all gonna be all right. And if anything, all that's happening is that the playing field is being leveled. And conservative people, capitalistic people don't like that, because you want to talk about slavery. The capitalistic system of America is slavery. That's why you have people now working 2-3 jobs, girl. And they don't have a union, which means they can't have anyone stand in the gap for them to be able to treat them like a human being, girl. Hello, there are people during the whole 2020 situation who have lived better than before the goddamn epidemic, girl, pandemic. And it's a shame that destruction happened and other people thrived in the destruction. And that was the oppressed groups of people who did that. If the people who make the cogs in the machine walk away from the machine, the machine no longer works. Once people start becoming self-aware of who they are, that's when the game is about to end. And there are a lot of people who have spent generation after generation after generation after fucking generation, girl, literally banking everything and putting everything on the line for this game to continue as scheduled, girl. We put a wrench in the machine, girl, when slavery ended, just for another motherfucking cog to be a bigger cog to be initiated into the system, girl. Systemically. Girl, but it's okay, girl. Some people are going to be ignorant, and I have to be okay with that. Some people are going to allow their fears to completely consume them, and I understand that, girl. I just pray for the people who do allow their fear to consume them, because what is going to happen to us objectively, girl? Y'all thought 2020 was something, girl. If anything, this was the coming attractions, baby. And we ain't talking about coming attraction with the movies, girl. We talking about the lights still on in the goddamn movie theater, girl. Motherfuckers still vacuuming up the last section of the carpet, girl, with the popcorn, and they running all type of local ads, bitch. 300, 588, 300 Empire today. They're playing all type of local things. We haven't even started yet, girl. The movie don't even start, girl. The coming attractions for the movie don't even start until 30 minutes from now. So we're in this area now, girl. That's why I say self-love is important, girl, because a lot of us is going to hell, girl, and we're going to have to find a way to love ourselves out of hell, just like Christ did. That's why Christ told his disciples that, girl, y'all be gagging and thinking I'm the only one can do it, when, bitch, I'm not the only one that can do it. Y'all can do it, and y'all gonna do far greater than me. Just let me be your foundation, girl. And we see that there are a lot of people who built their foundation on sand and others who built it on stone. And that's no shade. That's no shade, girl. That's why emotional honesty and intelligence and awareness is important, because when you're privileged and you have all this shit handed to you all the time, equality feels like an attack, girl. And that's because you conceive it as an attack, girl. Because capitalistic people, they rely and they need the oppressed people to do their job, which is to shut the fuck up and get the fuck back to work. But it's a new breed. Like with every generation that we ignore the bullshit, there is a generation being born that's gonna be able to handle all this shit, girl. And they're gonna literally manifest all the fear narratives that every group of people have about each other. Again, we have the opportunity right now, before everything goes to fucking hell, girl, to actually deal with the shit. And instead of motherfuckers coming over and trying to throw water and water bending on the fire, there are some motherfuckers coming through and they gasoline bending, girl. Okay, let me read y'all comments some more. Miss Ron is regurgitating talking points from other conservative grifters. Unfortunately. Wait, not him calling Native Indians. Now we gotta fight. Hey, Queen Amber. All right, y'all, let's continue, cause I'm low-key ready for this to be over with, girl. Cause we didn't learn anything new.
Republicans who fought for black people's freedoms and didn't hold slaves during the slavery era and defeated the Confederacy, those are the people who deserve reparations. The descendants of those soldiers are the people that deserve reparations.
Those soldiers were fighting for the enslaved people in the South. And they were also fighting for blackness all around. What are you talking about? You talking about, oh, it needs to go to the soldiers, the black soldiers who fought. Yeah, it do need to go to the black soldiers. I mean, hell, the whole reparations and 40 acres and a mule included the northern black people as well. Like, girl, what?
Anybody, black, white, or whatever color, that is a liberal trying to tell you that you are oppressed, that you cannot achieve anything that you want in this world, especially in America. I don't know about other places like North Korea. Hell no, you can't achieve shit in North Korea. But anybody that's trying to tell you as an American, colored American, I don't give a fuck. You could be white too. Anybody trying to tell you that you can't be anything in America, not only are they bound by demonic thinking for disappointing Jesus Christ and believing that a human holds power over them, but they're also very ignorant in life and they're asinine in the brain. I used to be the type
Not
to
in the
want to sit
brain.
here and blame everything on the white man. I used to be the type to sit here and blame everything on inequality. I used to sit here and be like, oh, when we gonna get reparations? We need reparations because I'm held back. But then I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, and all this time I've been bitching about reparations. I could have went to school, got me a good job, and built up.
Okay, girl. Okay, girl, because it's about to be the end, girl. And you kind of play in our face, so let's go ahead and do it, girl. You tried to go to school, girl, but what happened? You had the nigga treatment, girl. And you had a black person in your life, girl, who could have made you going to school for free, easy, girl, and they didn't do it. So even you did what was considered right and still had some sort of nigga moment that prevented that from happening. No shade. No shade. Now, as far as individually, you can make it. There's a lot of black people who have individually made it. But when those same black people try to go back to their people and try to take the resources that they have to help strengthen their people in their own neighbor fucking hood, it becomes a fucking issue. Look at Nipsey Hussle. Yeah, he had queer phobic ass viewpoints, but at least he was trying to do something for the community. He was trying to give back to the community. And I ain't talking about coming back once, twice a year. Oh, I'm in the hood. Let me just throw up $5,000 in the air and get these niggas money and shit. No, but like to actually invest in neighborhoods, to have black gas stations, black liquor stores, black grocery stores, black banks, black libraries, black schools, like black businesses, entrepreneurial, creating, bringing that wealth back to their people, girl. Yes, individually, you can do whatever the hell you want to, especially if you sell your soul through your booty hole for promises of gold, bitch. You can get whatever you want, unfortunately. But when you take those resources and you try to allocate those resources back to your people to help them, not just get your mama out the hood, not just get your immediate family out the hood, but to actually invest in the neighborhood that you came from, invest in mental health institutions, not institutions, but mental health clinics to be able to help people deal with their emotions. Some people just want somebody to talk to. Some people just need somebody for a fucking hug. Some people just need someone to fucking care, like to help build community again. There is always an attack on that. And let's talk about individual wealth in America when it comes down to blackness. You have a lot of black people now taking the shortcut, girl, trying to be rappers and shit like that, not knowing that they're literally selling their life away. They're selling themselves into debt, girl, and they're going to pay that debt through blood. Because artists are worth more dead than alive. It's a lot of intersections here that we're not dealing with. And you're trying to get black people to try to, quote unquote, give up the oppression and all this stuff, girl. But you don't even show us the way. Girl, you just telling us, girl, all you got to do is get on your knees and pray to white Jesus, girl, and become a conservative Republican, girl. And when you wake up, all of your issues are resolved, girl. All of your issues, and maybe it was for you, I don't know, maybe you had some sort of miraculous, immaculate conception type of idea, I don't know. But the fact that you're trying to help other people understand this, girl, and to make it make sense, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Your talking points don't make sense. I'm sorry, you failed. Come back again later and try again. Every upload that you have done, we have not learned anything that was beneficial. You haven't laid down any sort of framework. Girl, you just want people. It's just like Christianity, girl. You want to recruit. That's all. You want to recruit, girl. We're going to recruit you, and then your job is to go out and to recruit other people underneath this damn faith and can't even explain the fucking faith and how you found the faith, girl. Like I said, if you were to eventually like sit down somewhere and actually shared your story with people, I don't know, maybe you'll do it in Patreon, because you say you're going to Patreon. So I know a lot of queer-phobic, racist shit finna come out your damn mouth, girl, especially in Patreon, and you ain't got to worry about shit unless hoes out here goddamn screen recording, girl, which will be illegal to do because it's private. Patreon, pay to be in those, but... And girl, I'm not paying to be in your Patreon, so you could be talking hella shit, girl. I won't even care, girl. I'm only addressing the public shit you do, you know, because I'm woke and broke. But girl, you failed. You failed in application, girl. You failed in trying to understand, girl. And this is me trying to. I'm trying to help you out, cause you the one that feels some type of way about liberal people and oppressed people reading you for filth. You're failing in educating them, girl. If they don't understand the lesson plan, switch it up, girl. And you haven't done that at all. So maybe you need to switch up your lesson plan to be able to help educate the ignorant, to help educate the demon-possessed, demonically influenced and encroached black, liberal, homosexual, queer, trans, he, she, wees, niggas, and wigs, girl. Okay, let me finish.
Up. I could have been great. But listening to you guys not only lead generation upon generations of people down the right path, now we have to have people like me to wake people up and say, you know what, I think we just need to try harder. Not harder because we're black, but harder because we spent so much time as black people believing that we're victims that now we have no choice but to try harder. If you really want reparations so bad, then how about you go book a plane ticket, one-way flight to Africa? Why hasn't Africa ever just sent a message to black Americans saying, come back, come on, we gonna pay for everything. Come back, we got housing for y'all, we got everything for y'all. Why haven't they ever done that if y'all are so like heavily twisted connected? Because mind you, they sold you off. So why haven't they ever offered you some kind of open arms? Are you scared that when you go back, they're just going to re-slave you again and ship you back out? Well, they can't legally re-slave you, but what are you scared of, Africa? And African Americans, what are you scared of about going back to Africa? Well, you can't go back to Africa because you never came from Africa. So just get on your shit and stop playing into this delusional mind game that you're going to get reparations. Just get up and work. It's that simple. The Irish people have got up and worked. The Chinese people have got up and worked. The Muslim people have got up and worked. Everybody has gotten up and worked except for black people. They want to kick up. And even if we want to say reparations are still needed, you already gotten reparations through the trillions of dollars through the Section 8 food stamps, all of this government assistance. Now in college, you don't even have to have an SAT or ACT. I done sat here and wasted my time and took the ACT 4 times trying to get a perfect score.
Did you get that perfect score?
It's getting too easy for you, and you still want reparations? You sound delusional.
And that's not being derogatory, that's just straight up facts.
Girl, I am screaming. Girl, all black people are saying is give us our shit. That's all. Just give us our shit. Fuck everything else, girl. Give us what's ours, girl. Y'all promised us this, girl. Run us what's ours. No shade. And I mean, hell, if that's the case, maybe your point is right, girl. Maybe black people need to get their motherfucking comeuppance by any means necessary, girl. Even if that means finding our own loopholes, girl. Even if that means motherfucking using the goddamn welfare system, which was created for white people, if we talk about it, girl, because the Homestead Act. But at this point, girl, accountability and reparations is going to happen, girl. Because it's not just, when you talk about enslaved people, we're talking about people who were forced not just to work, but people who were also murdered, sexually abused, psychologically abused, spiritually abused, and has not done anything to help remedy their shit. Because this racism thing is a two-way street. This is not just a one-way street. This is a two-way street, and we're talking about in America. We can deal with Africa once we get our shit. We talking about what we dealt with y'all motherfuckers, and still dealing with y'all motherfuckers today. We're not gonna bypass that. The grace and mercy for y'all to actually do shit and to reconcile with what has been done to black people is the opportunity to do it now, girl. Because black people have done one thing, or shall I say, there's one thing that black people have not done that has been done to us, to our oppressors, and that's is be violent. Black people have always chosen peace, so much to the point that with our own self-hatred that we have, girl, we're now internalizing that anger and willing to take it out on ourselves and not even on those who are still oppressing us, girl. But I think what's happening again with just whiteness and capitalism and conservatism and all that stuff is that now America is having its ego death. And that's why, again, in the information age, girl, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. A lot of people don't want to know better because they don't know how and can't handle the accountability, the responsibility, and the heat that comes, okay, with doing better. And it's the fact that the oppressors and the voice pieces of the oppressors, girl, continue to tell oppressed people that their oppression is false, delusional, like really narcissistic and gaslighting and just very, you talking about evil and demonic, that's evil and demonic. Especially when we have factual evidence that overwhelms any sort of talking point that a conservative person has. Because if a conservative person had such a viewpoint, that viewpoint would have already came through. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I entitled this live Ignorance in Action, because that's what we're seeing. We don't see any education in action. We don't see any empathy in action. We don't see any mental, emotional, and spiritual awareness in action. And yes, I say spiritual because Ron considers himself to be a Christian. That's a spiritual aspect. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a religious aspect. My apologies. That is about conservatism and tradition and idolization of a viewpoint, as opposed to spirituality, which is more inclusive, which is following the flow of God. And I'm not saying that I'm better than him. I'm just saying I'm more aware than he is. And his awareness can actually grow if he learns to heal from certain aspects of himself. And that's what I talk about when I say fear projection. This is fear, 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 fear. White America is fearful that once black people get this money, they're going to turn around and try to destroy them, even though their numbers are already dwindling, girl. Like, that's why, again, once again, girl, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Whatever energy you put out, whether you're conscious or unconscious about it, you're going to get that back. That's why reconciliation is important. That's why you have the opportunity and the grace and mercy to actually do the right thing. To actually do what is considered fucking right and just. But if you want to hold on to your ignorances, and instead of dealing with your biases, instead of dealing with your own application and involvement in your fear that something bad is going to happen to you, y'all are willing to hold on to something that you are going to allow to destroy you. Because reparations and all that shit, girl, again, we're in a spiritual age, girl. We're in an emotional age. We're in a spiritual age. We're in a feminine age, girl. All the feminine energy is coming in to balance it. All the feminine energy is coming to bring context and nuance. Hell, even Christ's inception was the feminine part of God. The loving, nurturing, caring part that showed up on earth and literally minored in what Ron and a lot of other people major in. But girl, we're gonna see what else Ron has in store. Like I said, I want to be educated, Ron. I want to be educated, pimping. That's what I want. I want you to tell me why I'm wrong and show me why I'm wrong, factually, objectively. Not matter-of-factly, girl, but I need you to motherfucking make it make sense, girl. If you walking in truth, girl, and you walking with Christ, Christ made it plain, girl. Christ laid it out very plain, girl. So, I don't know, read the Bible a little bit more, girl, and figure out how to tap into your Christ energy, because this whole type of supremacist energy that you're in, girl, that doesn't really even support you at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's that's your journey and that's your walk, and you're sharing it publicly, girl. So just like you're going to open your mouth and talk about trans people and queer people, how they don't deserve rights, and black people need to get the fuck over slavery, and, you know, reparations and all this other type of shit, girl, just like y'all going to have opinions, we going to have opinions too. We just going to I guess continue to be opinionated motherfuckers, girl. But I'm willing to be opinionated and open-minded. So maybe Ron needs to work more on his open-mindedness part, just so he can help other people like myself understand who, once again, is the sick, twisted, deviant, sexually abusive, demonically encroached, mentally ill, victim person who was playing in my own demise. Interesting. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for once again enduring ignorance in action, girl. Through the commentary of Ron Vuggotta. Again, I give Ron full permission to use my commentary in his response. If he chooses, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to be delusional, even though people think that I am, but I'm not going to be delusional to sit up here and give my commentary and feel some type of way about somebody giving commentary on me. I'm for that shit. I'm for the conversation. I'm for that. I'm for the talking, girl. Even if we got to throw shade, I'm with that. Even if we got to read, girl, I'm with all the smoke, girl. It's just about what level of smoke do you want? And I believe that regardless of what level of smoke that a motherfucker want, girl, there's an opportunity to get the truth too. So I'm willing to go through that as well. But anyway, I want to say shout out to King Aries, shout out to Queen Amber, shout out to King Low Key Fur, shout out to King Ron Mim, shout out to Queen Spicy, shout out to Rico DeBrett, girl. Shout out to everybody who is in the bushes. Shout out to you, Ron. I know you watching. Shout out to you. Please hit that like button. Okay, you ain't got to subscribe to me, girl. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you can at least hit the like button. You ain't got to be a hating ass bitch all of your life, girl. For those of you who do subscribe and are subscribed to me, I want to make sure that y'all hit that notification bell, because I go random at sporadic times. Whenever the energy hit me, girl, I just go. So you never know the day or hour, bitch, when it's going to happen. So in order to stay in the loop, girl, to follow the flow like my ass is, girl, make sure you hit that notification bell. And if you feeling compelled in your spirit, girl, to, you know, send a donation, girl, I am receiving all my blessings. Like I said, girl, I spent the majority of my life giving. I'm also ready to receive as well. No shade, I'm ready to receive as well. So if you feel like giving, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Any amount is appreciated. Thank you so much. And yeah, until next time, y'all, make sure y'all have the rest of an amazing Thursday evening, and I'll be talking to y'all. Peace.
Love never dies, just choose to be born again.